Okay, so as you probably know, so the point here is to ask maybe your intake on a few questions. Shall we start?
I think not much have changed in the sense that we always need to figure out what is people's motivation.
Yeah.
And I offered moving motivators as an exercise, as a tool, as part of the Management 3.0 or toolkit. And it's just that some motivations perhaps become more clear than previously before the COVID-19 crisis. So, for example, I know a manager told me that since people were working from home, some of his team members got a little bit depressed because social contacts was very important for them, the relatedness to their colleagues. And they were at home at the kitchen table day after day, feeling very disconnected with the rest of the world, while others are happily working remotely and enjoy the freedom. So the impact that this has is very different on different people, apparently. And it starts with just awareness. So what this manager did was simply inviting people to his house every now and then. Okay, well, just come to my apartment then, and we'll work together for 2 hours, and motivating others to get together within the regulations and restrictions that of the of the government. But for sure, you can invite 2 or 3 people as long as you keep socially distant. No worries, drinking coffee and doing a bit of work. You just cannot go to the office with hundreds of people anymore.
Yeah.
So that's a creative solution that I think is an example of what you should be going after with as a team leader. As I said, some needs will become more apparent than others.
Yeah, definitely, and I think really have to be contextualized to what people really feel, because as you said, it's very different from one another.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And do you think like this can be an opportunity as well to change the way we work, basically?
For sure, because there was this meme on, I don't know, Facebook or Twitter with a poll a while ago that asked who had the most impact on your organizational transformation. Was it management, or was it the team members, or was it consultants and coaches, or was it COVID-19?
Yeah.
And most people voted COVID-19.
Well, that's understandable.
So it's an obvious thing that finally some organizations were pushed into this uncharted territory of remote working and digital transformation. Now they had to. It's like pushing someone in the water and then say, swim, swim.
Yeah, definitely.
While they were a bit too scared to dive in. So I think that's a good thing. They learn swimming. It means, that they will get used to a new situation where probably part of the workforce is going to be working remotely, and some people permanently, some people maybe off and on a couple of days per week. But for sure, it will have an impact on the average commute, on the way we organize meetings.
Definitely. I think it's an opportunity to see. I mean, from my perspective, it's easily you can redefine the way you work, because before maybe the current situation of the COVID-19 pandemic, I mean, we didn't even ask ourselves. We were going from a meeting to another physically, sometimes taking the plane or the train or things like that. We didn't even ask ourselves the question if it was needed to be physically there.
Right. Yeah, it was normal. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, after there's a lot of debate you can have about that, but I mean, I think it's kind of a nice opportunity to see how you can redefine the way you work, and what was supposed to be like non-questionable, non-questionable before can be now.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I remember last year when I was at some event in, I don't know where it was, Germany or something, and I had to take a train in the morning to go from my hotel to an event
Hmm.
location, which was a bit outside of the city or away from where I was. And then I was among the people who were commuting to work, and I was like, wow, this is something I did 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I was not used to that commute anymore. It was
Mm.
completely normal for me to be working remotely and only travel when I had to
Hmm.
be in a certain location, and but do everything digitally. But only then I was confronted with the fact that for many other people that was normal, that they
Mm.
sit on the train every morning, they go to work or
Yeah.
on the bus or in the car. And so, yeah, how easily we change our mindsets, and then the new way of working becomes the new normal. It is very cliche, but it is cliche because it's true.
It is cliche, but it's true. And I mean, I saw it amongst my experience as well. Is, I mean, obviously, remote work has to be, contextualized depending on the activity, the people, and I think the new management approaches, anyways, are towards that, is, being trusting people in organizing their own work, basically. And I
Hmm.
mean, it's so much relieving for someone to maybe, a day or two, or maybe a bit more during the week, to stay home because, well, they have their kids, they have, obligations they have to attend as well. I mean, it's so much less stressful as well during the day to maybe, well, have a more flexible approach towards work, basically.